So lesson 1.5, we're talking about conditional statements. We're going to look at this little activity here first. I told you to go through and say true or false, right?
Yeah.
So on the first one, it says, if it is raining, then it is spring. Yep.
I put false because it could technically rain any day.
Right, it literally rained yesterday, right? So that is false because it does not have to be spring. So you would give me a counterexample over here. Okay. The second one, if x and y are whole numbers, then their difference, x minus y, is a whole number.
Yeah, true.
That is true, okay? If I subtract two whole numbers, can I ever get a decimal or a fraction? No. Third one, if water is heated, then it boils.
False.
Does anyone think true?
Oh, good one.
Oh, no.
Okay, argument, go. Why is it true or false?
Eli, go.
Hey, Eli.
It never said how long.
Man,
If you
shut
just,
up.
If you just straight up heat it, it'll boil. No, it doesn't.
No.
Yes,
No.
it does. What if the boiling
Have you ever tried
boiling
that?
point is 70 degrees?
The answer is false.
What?
Okay, now when you take a shower, is the water heated?
Yeah, I don't.
Is it boiling?
No.
No, but it's heated, right?
Definition
Okay.
of shower, please.
All right, number 4. If a triangle has a right angle, then it is a right triangle.
True.
That one is true. Yep. Number 5. If your favorite color is blue, then you are a good speller.
Me.
What?
It's false. Because Max's favorite color is blue. And he is not a good speller.
Okay. Okay. Just because your favorite color is blue, does that mean you're a good speller? No. Negative.
Yes.
No, does not. Okay. So, for all these ones that are false, yes, we talked about it, but you would give a counterexample for those. Okay. The true ones, you would just be done. Okay. Off to the side of your notes, go ahead and write the words conditional statement. Okay. We're going to be writing conditional statement. Okay. So when you hear the term conditional statement, we are talking about if-then statements. Okay. A conditional statement is an if-then statement. In your book or sometimes like on a test or something, you might see P, then Q. Okay. What that means is if P, then Q. Okay. So instead of writing out if-then, okay, P and Q stand for those specific events. Okay, so if P, then Q. So if this happens, then this happens, just like we were doing the cause and effect on the front page. Okay, so to start, we are going to be given a statement, and we want to write it as a conditional statement or an if-then statement. Okay, so this is not in your notes yet. I just want you to follow along up here. This one says, you can register to vote if you are at least 18 years old. Do you see anything in that sentence that can help us write an if-then statement?
No.
Because, yes.
What?
Because if you're 18, then you can vote.
Correct. So this one kind of made it a little nice. We already have the word if in there. Okay, so you don't really have to think about what your if is. Okay, so it'd be if you are at least 18 years old, then what?
You can register to vote.
Then you can register to vote. Okay, so that one made it a little easy. Okay, but what if you don't have the if in there? So this one, we have a square must have 4 congruent sides.
That's not an
Right. So this time we're trying to make an if-then statement.
If it has 4 congruent sides, then it's a square.
That does work. Could you also do it the other way?
If it's square, then I have 4
congruent side.
Yes. Biggest thing, make sure you write this off to the side of your notes. When writing if-then statements. So when writing if-then statements or a conditional statement, you want them to be true. Okay. When you write conditional statements or if-then statements, sometimes writing it both ways, just like this example did, sometimes writing them both ways, they work. Okay, but it won't be like that all the time. So make sure when you write if-then statements, they are true. Okay. Another word that you use in science, hypothesis and conclusion. Hypothesis is what we're dealing with. Okay, conclusion is what happens. Okay, so what we're dealing with right now is a square, yeah? So hypothesis, we have a square. What happened to the square? What do we know about the square? Has 4 congruent sides. Okay. So on these ones, the first one, actually I'm going to ask you this. Which one's easier?
B.
Why is, I know it's not labeled here. Why is B easier? It already has the if. So if what?
If he washes his car.
If he washes the car, then what? Then he can go to the movies. Okay. What about A?
If all angles are congruent on a triangle, then it is equilateral.
Does anyone agree with that?
Me.
Okay. Does anyone write it the opposite way?
No, but it would sound a little bit like this. If a triangle is equilateral, then all angles are congruent.
Yes. Do both of those work? Are both of those true? Yes. So both of those would work. So what I have here, oh, not that. What I have here is that both of those would work. Okay, and I could have flip-flopped those. Could I have flip-flopped B? Could I say, if Alberto can go to the movies, then he washes his car?
No.
It doesn't make as much sense. Okay, so if it already gives you the if in there, keep that as the if. Okay, don't try and mix and match. Okay. Next thing we're going to talk about, we're going to be on example 2. So write these notes off to the side, is truth values. So go ahead and write the words truth value. We are not going to be making those truth tables. Okay, but write the words truth value. This is very similar to what you were doing with the if-then statements on the front that I already had you do. Okay, so if you say it's true, do you need to do anything else?
No.
No. If you say it's true, it's done. So you need to write this down. If you say your truth value is true, you're done. What if you say that it is false?
Counter example.
Reasoning, but most importantly, give a counter example. Okay, so if it's true, you're done. If it is false, you got to tell me why it's false with a counter example. Okay, so let's look at this one, not in your notes. This one says, if a number is even, then it is divisible by 2. Talking to your groups, true or false?
True.
Why is that one true?
Because it's true.
Right. Remember, for truth value, write this down also by your notes over here. Can it just be true one time? No. Always has to be true.
Can't every number be divisible by 2?
No. Because you'd get a decimal.
It doesn't say
Yep.
it has to be a whole number, though.
If it is divisible by 2, that means it comes out even.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, no, of course. That's what it means.
So again, if it is true, you're done. But to be true, the statement always has to be true. Okay, that's what I mean by that. Let's look at another one. I'm going to skip this one because it confused quite a few people. But keywords here, not always true. Okay, so if there's just one instance where it's not always true, it's false. Okay, if you say true, it always has to be true. Go ahead, try these two on your example 2 in your groups. So you're saying the truth value. All right, on this one, saying truth value. So on A, says if a quadrilateral has a right angle. What's a quadrilateral?
A shape with 4 sides.
4 sides, yep, any shape with 4 sides. If a quadrilateral has a right angle, then it is a rectangle. True or false?
True.
Anybody say false? Why'd you say false? There we go, yep. You can say false because it could be a square.
A square is a...
Because there could also be a trapezoid. What he probably drew is this odd looking shape here. We got a
No, that's not what it is.
right angle.
Wait.
Wait, yes.
Okay, part B right here, it says if X is the midpoint of AB. Remember that line right there? That means line segment. Okay, so if I have a line segment here, AB, okay, if X is the midpoint of AB, then X lies on AB.
True.
No, wait. No,
True.
it's false.
True.
No, that's true.
It is true. Why is that always true?
Because it's on.
If it's in between them, then it's obviously going to lie on that line.
What's a midpoint? It's in the middle. Can the middle be down here?
No.
No, has to be on the line. Okay, is there ever going to be more than one midpoint?
No.
No, always going to be one. Awesome. Since it's true, do I need to explain why? No. All right. So next thing we are going to talk about is the converse. So everything I write down, you write down. Converse. Okay. Now we're going to get into messing around with our if-then statements. Okay. So the original conditional statement, go ahead and write all this down. The conditional statement is in what form? It's in the if-then form. Remember when I told you, like, if P, then Q? Okay, so our conditional statement is in the form of if P, then Q. Okay, the converse kind of mixes that around. So it goes from the conditional statement. You're still writing an if-then statement. What do you think happens, though, if I do the converse? It flips it. Yep. So this time it's going to be if Q, then P. Okay, so it's still an if-then statement. I'm just flip-flopping my original conditional statement. Okay? So again, from the converse, you're going from the conditional statement to the converse. Okay? So let's look at a little example here. On this one, it says, if you play, this one's not in your notes. It says, if you play the trumpet, then you play a brass instrument. That is the original conditional statement. Okay? So it wants us to write the converse of that. So, if what?
If you play a brass
If you play a brass instrument, then
play the trumpet.
you play the trumpet. That's all that it's saying. We're just mix and matching. Are you ever going to start a sentence with then?
No.
No. Okay, you're always going to start a sentence with if. Okay? Go ahead and talk about example 3, A and B in your notes with your table partners. On this one, part A, who wants to share their converse to that? Eli.
If a polygon has 4 sides, then it is a quadrilateral.
Clap once if you agree with that. Awesome. So, dang it. There it is. What's the truth value to that?
You don't see anything on the board.
Thank you. What's the truth value to that? True. Does everyone agree with true? Yeah. Clap once if you agree with true. Awesome. Part B, who wants to share that statement there?
If 2 angles add up to 90 degrees, they are complementary. Then they are complementary.
Clap once if you agree with that there. Awesome. Okay, what is the truth value to that? Does anyone know what complementary means?
Isn't it like
Doesn't it just mean
What'd you say?
doesn't it just mean they add up to 90?
Exactly. Okay, complementary means they add up to 90. So what's the truth value? True. Yep, true. Does anyone know the term for adding up to 180? Supplementary. Yep, good. Okay.